What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. I hope you're having a great day, because today we're finally gonna add our editing scene. We've done a lot of editing, or all editing, in our playing scene, which we shouldn't do, and we're gonna move all of the code for that into the editing class, so we do the edit in the editing scene and the playing in the playing scene. So without any further ado, let's get into the episode. Alright, so let's start out by making the editing class. So in our scene package, new class, editing. And just like playing and settings, it extends game scene and implements scene methods. So add constructor and add unimplemented methods. Alright, good. And this entire episode will pretty much be moving code from playing and our, what did we call it, button bar into editing and the toolbar, maybe toolbar, I don't know, we'll call it something. So we just made a class, now we need to add the, where do we have it? State, the game state. So we have one, let's just call it edit. Then we go to game. And in game we create a new class, private editing, and we import the class, go down to init classes and just equals new editing this. And we also need to add this getter, public editing, get editor. Let's just call it get it editor. Return editing. Alright. So now that is fixed, then we also need to fix for the render method. So let's go to our, what do we have in our game screen, right? No, game get render. Our render class, of course. And here we have a yellow line, add missing statement. Sure, why not? So we get edit, game dot get editor dot render g. Perfect. So we've taken care of render, now we have our mouse inputs. So let's go to mouse listener. Here we didn't have any yellow lines for some reason, but we do it manually. So case edit game dot get editor mouse dragged e dot get x e dot get y. All right, and we can actually copy, and we need a break as well. And we can copy this entire string after here, but we change mouse moved to mouse moved. Copy it again, down here, mouse clicked to mouse clicked. Copy. And I need to do this for all of the switches. Mouse released to mouse released. Mouse release, mouse press, clicked, moved, dragged. Alright, so all of that is working, so we can now close that one as well. Next up will be to add the button in our menu right here. So we have playing, setting, quit. We want it after playing. So B edit. So B playing equals new my button. Edit. And then X, Y, width and height. But we're gonna take or replace it by plus offset times, no, not times anything. This will be times 3 and this one will be times 2 because there's another button in the mix. Draw button, playing, B edit dot draw. We have the edit draw. Import image load sprites. Why do we have this still? We don't need to have this in menu, so Must be from our episode back that I completely forgot. So we can remove those two. And of course, import image and load sprites. We have no use for it. And these variables as well. All right, so I'm just gonna add checks for each of them. Clicked, moved, pressed, released, and so on. And I'm just gonna speed through this. So let's go. And while I'm fixing these mouse events, don't forget, if you like this type of content, hit the like button. And if you wanna continue following along, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any upcoming episodes. Cheers, guys. All of the mouse event has been fixed. So we have the mouse pressed, mouse over, and mouse clicked. And in clicked, we simply change the state to edit. And if that works, we should be able to run it and see our new button. And it should work also. Mouse over, we can press it. And can we change? Looks like it. Perfect. Now we got the button working. Now we need to go into our editing and start working on what's going to be rendered in our editing menu. And we start by looking into our playing class here. And what we will need is the tile for selected tile, the button bar. We're gonna rename, but not right now. We will need a copy of this, mouse X and mouse Y, and we will need the last tile X, Y, and ID. So we can begin by taking these variables. Let's just take them all and then remove what we don't actually need here. We will need a level, of course. We will need a tile manager. Yes, we will. Button bar, no. And the rest, yeah. We won't need it in here. We won't need the selected tile in here. Tile manager will still need. So yeah, we can remove these methods that we don't use anymore. Create default level. Nope, I want to have that in our game class actually. Move it here for a second. Game init classes. Let's just call it. Let's just copy. There's no reason to rewrite it. Create default level. Create default level. New level. New level. Yeah, that's good enough. Save. We can go back to our editing here. And we start by checking. We'll keep this for now. Low default level. We will remove level data and just put it here. Because now we have a default level, so we'll load that instead of loading it the other way. Render. We're still gonna go through it. Button bar. We don't need draw select, but we can move that into our render. Draw selected tile, draw selected tile, yes. And public void set selected tile, yes, we'll still need that. This getter shouldn't be there, it should be at the bottom. That's usually where you put the getters and setters, at the bottom of the class. Button bar, dot draw, we will keep that for now. Change tile, we will not change any tiles in playing, we'll do it in our editing. Mouse clicked, we will copy what's inside it. Copy what's inside moved. And keep doing this for all of the other ones. Mouse pressed, actually not mouse pressed. Mouse released, no. Mouse dragged, yes. And let's go back to the top here, check, we will not change the tiles here. We can remove that as well. We can remove draw select, and we can remove those two. X, yeah, that looks good, that looks good. Mouse pressed in the mouse button bar, yes, that still works. If Y is above or equal, we don't do anything. We can remove that actually. We have no reason for it just now. We still need mouse X and Y position when it comes to selecting tile, for example, placing a turret or upgrading something. So we will still keep these, otherwise I would have removed them, but a lot cleaner now, so that looks good. Now comes this part. Actually, let's remove Tile Manager and place it in game as well. Private Tile Manager, because we still need to get it, but not there. Init classes, let's start with it. Equals new Tile Manager. We make a getter, public Tile Manager. Yes. And since we don't have a Tile Manager here, we could go game.get Tile Manager.get. That's a long one. Let's just call private third image get sprite int sprite ID, and then we take that all away and say get sprite and ID, and in here we say return game.get tile manager get sprite ID. And this way we save up a lot of space here. And apparently I need to import it. Thought we already had it, but alright, we didn't. Now it looks better, and the public tile manager, we don't need it in here. So let's go back to our editing. Button bar, we're gonna make a button bar, yes, but we can remove tile manager as well. Alright, so I think we moved enough code, and in here we can remove a few imports. We don't need them either. That looks better. Still something yellow. Okay. Yellow, when you have a little yellow line here, that means that the variable is not in use. So if you have yellow, you usually can remove it. But since I know we will use these, I'm keeping them for now. Alright, so back to our editing class. There is a lot of errors, but they all have to do with, or 2 errors actually, I thought it was more. 2 errors, but they have to do with the button bar. And because we have a playing scene and also a editing scene, which will look quite similar, they both will display the level, and they both will have buttons at the bottom. And because of that, I'm gonna make another class in the user interface, new class bar, we're gonna call it. And that one will be the base for our button bar for playing here. And we will also make a other class later for the editing scene, and that one will be called toolbar. And the button bar will change name to ActionBar, because you're playing, you have your action bar, so the names don't really matter that much, but it's just something so we can separate those two, because they will be different. We cannot use the same button bar, so we have to make one for each, but they will have some similarities, so that's why we're making a super class. And this bar class, we will simply take like so. No, we can just take this entire constructor, place it in here, rename it to bar, and we will also take the variables, the wrong place, variables, like so. Init buttons we will have, but we will remove playing, because it won't need a playing. And that's all for right now. And that's all for now. I don't think we have any more similarities to add. But we might do it later, so that's why we have a superclass, and yeah, so that's why. And in our button bar, we can remove that one. We can go super. Oh, we need to extend first, so we get the extends bar. So super x, y, width, and height. So we can still have playing here, that's okay, as long as we pass in the correct variables. So playing equals playing, yeah, that's sure. Init buttons, we will still use the buttons, nothing has changed here, we just change how we reach the tile manager, and we do it by playing dot, I don't think we have, yeah we do have it, right? Let's try playing dot get game. Yeah, we did have get tile manager. Tile manager, it's spelled wrong. Alright, that's cool. But now it's spelled right. What else we got? We got draw. Instead of private, we're gonna change it to protected. What? Protected, there we go. And we use the modifier protected, so it's only subclasses and also inside this package that can reach them. But in button bar here we can, instead of saying that, we say dot get game dot get tile manager get sprite ID. Alright, so we fixed that. Before we go any further, let's just rename button bar completely. You right click it, refactor, rename to action bar, and finish. That's alright. And after we renamed it, let's just create the other one as well. So UI, up there, new class, we call this toolbar. Yeah, toolbar is good enough. And we say extends bar. Add constructor to match. Yeah, alright. Save, remove that comment. Save, place it in here. And just like we did with playing and editing, we're gonna go action bar to toolbar, whatever we don't need in action bar, but we'll need in toolbar. And in toolbar, we will need the buttons as well, or the buttons, but we will not need the save button in action bar. We will need tile button array and also the selected tile. Let's move it a little bit. So save, displaying, that looks better. Can remove that one. Nope. We will take init buttons, init buttons. Copy this, copy that. We will keep that, but we'll remove that one. We will not use this at all in our action bar. We will, however, do it here. And toolbar needs a editing. We will import the class. Private editing. This dot editing equals editing. Yeah, alright. Now that's been added, we go editing, get game, get tile manager dot tiles. Yeah, that looks good. We go to we need a public void. Wait, hold on, let's remove that. We will need all of these tile buttons, draw selected tile, and draw buttons. We copy that and we place them right below here. And in playing, we can remove the B save. We don't need draw tile buttons. No. Selected tile. No. We don't need that. Draw tile buttons. Nope. Buffered image, but image we will need in here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there it is. Get bot image. And draw function, the big draw function. Place it at top. Draw buttons. Yeah, that looks alright. Not playing in bot image, it's editing. I'm jumping a bit back and forth, but that's okay. All of that is done. We come to mouse click, moved, pressed, and released. We're gonna take them all, copy, and make some room, paste, start. All right, that's look good for now. Let's go back to playing. We only have the menu button. The rest we will not use. In our removed, it's the same, no save, not on that. All right, mouse pressed, you guessed it, only the menu. And in released, only the menu. So we don't have any errors in here, and save level. Yeah, that's gonna be passed in here as well. We keep it up here, init buttons, draw, save level, and it's not playing, it's editing. And in editing we don't have anything called save but save level. Didn't I take it? Nope. From playing to editing, at the top, under renderer, no, under draw selected tile, save level. That should be better. All right, and in playing, we remove it. Low default level, that we still need, yeah. And in action bar, remove save level. All right. Do I still need playing? Most likely we will need playing. Let's check some imports. Tile array list, buffered image, you go, don't need you. And minimize. All right, so I think action bar looks good for now. Let's go back into our toolbar and see what errors we have. And they are editing.get game.get tile. Editing get game, get tile manager, the tile, and then playing, editing, set selected tile. All right. No errors. It looks good. Playing and action bar, I think we're done with for now. So let's just drag editing over to this side so we can see it a little bit better. We'll get a few errors, and that's because we have the button bar and it's the toolbar. So we say in here, private toolbar. And we import it. Toolbar equals new toolbar. But we're gonna cheat a little bit, go to playing and get the values, poof, and pass them in. Whoops, remove one of that. That looks better. And in render, draw selected tile, toolbar.draw. So now we can draw it. I think there is one more. Toolbar. For mouse clicked, mouse moved, toolbar. And save. Every error is gone. All right, that was a lot. We can remove a few imports. Will it work? That's the question. Well, if there is an errors, we'll fix it. So let's try it and see if the game runs now after we've done all the moving of code. How about that? Looks good. So in our playing, there should only be the level. There should be this section down here still, but only a menu button. Can I click? That works. So playing works. Go to edit. We don't have the level, but do we have everything else? Save didn't work for some reason, and that's okay, because I think I already know what it is. We have the level, but just like in playing, we need to load the default level, and we do that right there. Actually, after super game. And it's like, what? I don't know what that is. So we need to copy that as well. That looks better. So let's try it again. Nothing is showing in there. All right, why not? Well, we don't render the level in our editing scene. Like in playing, we have this for our level. So we need that as well. But we're gonna call private void draw level, so we know what it is. Graphics G. Get sprite. Huh? Okay, we didn't have that either. Get sprite, draw level, and then draw level to start with. Yes. And I'm gonna do the exactly the same in playing. Draw level. All right, let's try this again. Most likely this will work. Starting up, good. Edit, we got level. Menu, yes, playing, menu, edit, save. Didn't crash. Let's remove all the water here in the center. Looks better now, or looks different now. So we save, close it, start it, edit. We are back where we left off last episode, but now we have a editing scene to work in rather than playing. Next up would be to get, while we are in editing, and we maybe make a little island here. 3x3, save it, menu, playing, but it's not showing up. Let's fix that real quick. And it's not more difficult than to go into Toolbar, find our save level, which is in editing, and as we save to the file, we also say game.get playing.set level, and we pass in level. And of course, in playing, we need a public void set level. Int double array level. This dot level equals level. I think that's enough. Yeah, that should be enough. So let's try it. Go into our game, edit. Let's make another island here. With one square of water, save it, menu, play, and it's there. So now we can edit almost in real time. And it will appear in our playing scene, which is really cool. I'm not gonna drag on this episode for much longer, but before we go, we should go into our res folder and find two of the files that we don't use anymore, test text file and test text. And just delete them, because we don't need them anymore. And refresh just to make sure. Yeah, sometimes they don't tend to leave. And that's all for this episode, folks. I know this episode was a little bit boring, because we didn't really do a lot of coding, we just moved a lot of code. But we need to do it in order for the next episodes to work correctly. And I think we're gonna add more tiles into the game, finally. And if you like this tutorial, hit the like button. And if you don't want to miss out on any upcoming videos, hit the subscribe button as well. And until the next episode, take care now, and I hope to see you in the next one as well. Cheers!